Damn peculiar. Yellow alert.
Energize defense fields.
Yes, I'm sending out an alert for this upcoming weekend storm, which includes severe weather across parts of the Deep South, as well as a major winter storm for parts of the Midwest. We got all the details coming your way next. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube page. And before we get started, as always, I'd like to thank the 494 subscribers on this page. Yeah, we're growing, we're getting there. And for those of you that have not subscribed to the channel, please consider it. Just hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up there. It'd be nice for you to join our growing family. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be looking at for today. We're going to look at the Storm Prediction Center as far as the outlook for Saturday and talk about those specific cities and what you can expect with a storm system approaching for this upcoming weekend. We're going to go ahead and compare the American model, the GFS model, with the European model. We're going to take a look at those models and see as far as the timing for this upcoming system. And then finally, thirdly, we'll take a look at the upcoming expected snow totals for this storm and give you the latest on that. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. We'll take a closer look here at the Storm Prediction Center outlook here. And this is a day 5 outlook. A little unusual to see the Storm Prediction Center put out something like this far in advance, but you can see in here this yellow area. That is where we're looking at about a 15% chance of seeing severe weather. We're talking cities like Little Rock coming down toward Houston and stretching over toward near Jackson, Shreveport, Louisiana, in that area. Generally, what we're expecting in this area is going to be the chance for tornadoes. There's tremendous amount of dynamics with this upper level support with wind shear that's there. Not a lot of heat. That this time of year it's kind of hard to come with that latent heat to kind of help fire those storms. So it's kind of a different variety of severe weather as say compared to going into the springtime. And that's what we're expecting with this system coming in for this upcoming weekend. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the models, and we'll take a look at the European model first. So we're going to take a look at the models here beginning on Saturday. Saturday morning, we're going to stretch it through the duration of the event right through Monday. By the time the storm system should be clearing the eastern third of the United States. So let's go ahead and zoom in here on the European. We're going to be taking a look at Saturday morning, as it doesn't look all that impressive to begin with, as we're just seeing some light rains here across Illinois, maybe a few rumbles of thunder getting down toward Arkansas maybe, but really not a whole lot to be worried about at that time. But as we step forward, watch how this thing begins to evolve and starts to get a little more vigor to it. As we get into the afternoon, we're starting to see some by late in the day. You're seeing some showers and thunderstorms there across Louisiana and going into Mississippi. You've got the cold air coming down, diving down here across the high plains and coming into the south behind this system. There's a little bit of upper level feature here as well. And this energy is going to kind of invigorate this area of low pressure. It's really going to deepen and take off as the storm begins to progress from Saturday and into Sunday. So going into the overnight hours, again, you can see these storms going on. We're also going to start seeing the snow start to develop there heading into Sunday morning. So it's a little bit later than what it was showing on yesterday's run, but you're seeing the snows here across Illinois, across portions of Michigan as well there. So it's shifted a little bit further to the east. You're seeing the rain and storms here across the deep south coming into Alabama and Georgia. And really watch what happens as I progress throughout the day on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of wind energy with this. And one really deep squall line is going to really develop here as we go late in the day on Sunday. Check this out by Sunday as we shift here to the northeast, as we've got a pretty good squall line here showing up on here, as we've got this squall line going through parts of New York, through Pennsylvania, stretching down toward Virginia. So I expect some very gusty winds with that being down. Look at this load dropping down to 979 millibars. You're still seeing the snow on the backside of this across the UP of Michigan and coming down into Michigan itself, even clipping down into Indiana. So a very vigorous storm system as this progresses out of Sunday and into Monday. Look at that going overnight hours, going through New Hampshire and upstate New York, and then finally, as we go into Monday morning, starts to clear the continental United States as that big low cranks up and heads up into Canada, dropping down to 969 millibars, and things should begin to improve from there. Just some cold air and quiet conditions across the country. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the American GFS model for comparison. It's always pretty cool when you can go ahead and you do a comparison between the two models. As you saw the European model, we're going over to the American GFS model. And right off the bat, one thing that kind of sticks out to me is that the GFS model, at least initially, is a little bit stronger than the European. But as it progresses forward, it is not as intense with the low pressure system as the European model. So little differences between the two. Let's go ahead and zoom in once again here and take a look at the area of low pressure that at Saturday morning is sitting there across northeastern Oklahoma. So you see in the area of low pressure right in here, even showing some snows a little bit here across portions of areas of Kansas to begin the day on Saturday morning. So let's go ahead and take you through time as we go forward into this. And the snows with this system on the GFS is further to the west as compared to the European model. Also noticing here as we going late in the day on Saturday that the storms don't really get fired off until they're a little bit further off to the east. So you notice here that we're getting the storms starting to fire up across say southern Illinois, coming down into areas of say Mississippi later in the day. So it's not exactly lining up with what the Storms Prediction Center currently has out. So there's a little bit difference with the timing with these two models. And as I go ahead and progress you further through this, the storm does get stronger. 988 millibars, not bad. You're seeing the snows that does eventually fall across areas of, say, areas there into Michigan and coming down through Wisconsin and Illinois on the back side of this. But the system is not as strong with the precipitation through this area here from going through the mid-Atlantic down to the southeast. Because watch as I progress forward here, going through time, going throughout the day. This is Sunday morning here. So as compared to the other model, not nearly as strong with the squall line that the European model was showing, nor is the low pressure system dropping as low. This is 985 millibars here on Sunday afternoon. Now the timing here as far as clearing the United States, fairly close here as we're going through the overnight hours heading into Monday. This is getting into midnight and into Monday morning. It has cleared the country. So the timing as far as its clearing are fairly close, but there are discrete differences between the two models as far as the intensity of the storm and where the severe weather in the south will fire off, and also in the exact locations of the snow. So this is something we're going to watch closely going forward. I typically lean more toward the European model, but we shall see as we get closer to this upcoming event. You can expect these models to change a bit as we get closer to the event. Let's go take a look at those snow totals. So obviously between the American GFS model and the European model, we have a difference in opinion as far as where the snows are going to fall as well. So we'll take a look first at the American GFS model, where we are going to see some snows on Friday falling through areas of Colorado, but this will kind of be shifting out of Kansas and then moving in this general direction here with the heavier snows. It's going to be kind of a narrow band in here with some pretty legitimate, pretty good snows falling. So let's go ahead and move forward into time as we go throughout the day on Saturday. So by the time we head into late in the day on Saturday, we've had some heavy snows across portions of Kansas, Missouri, and going into Iowa. Now going into Saturday night and into Sunday, starts to shift there across extreme northern portions of Illinois, some pretty heavy snows across areas of Wisconsin, and then stretching in throughout the day on Sunday, kind of exiting areas of the UP of Michigan, as well as the upper part of Michigan, as it starts to stretch into Canada as we go through the day on Monday. But you can see with this, a fairly narrow band. So you can see in here with the snow totals, we've got upwards of 12 inches of this narrow band going into Missouri, drops off to about 7 or 8, and then it picks up again with intensity. Look at this, up to 15, even showing a 20-inch there across southern Wisconsin there on the American GFS model, and kind of a narrow band of 12-inch snows going right up into the UP of Michigan, extreme northern Michigan, and then going into Canada as we go into Monday morning. So that's the general area where we're expecting the snows to fall, with this zone right through here, kind of a narrow corridor on the American GFS model. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the European and compare it to that total. So the European model here on Saturday morning, showing once again the day prior, a little snows here across areas of Colorado, but what you're not going to see is snows across areas of Kansas, Missouri, and up through Iowa, and going into Wisconsin. In fact, we're not going to see the snows fall until probably the next day in different locations. So let's go ahead and take you forward in time throughout the day on Saturday. Again, not seeing that snow falling through those areas as we were seeing on the American GFS model, but then as we go into Sunday, so this is Sunday morning, Backed up a little bit right there. Going into Sunday morning, you see the snows breaking out across areas of Illinois and across the extreme eastern portions of Wisconsin, going up into the UP of Michigan, and then eventually going into Canada, and then swinging off toward the north. So we got a substantial difference between the two models as far as where exactly the snow totals are going to fall for this particular event. So you're seeing the snows generally sitting right in here with the European model, and we're not seeing it across this zone as it was showing on the American GFS model for comparison. Now, as far as the snow totals with this particular model, pretty heavy as it gets up into Canada. You're seeing upwards of 2 feet here, UP of Michigan a lot, and just lower totals here right along the coast of Lake Michigan to Wisconsin and parts of near Chicago, getting near 7 inches there, and seeing some snows down here across Illinois as well. So definitely a big difference between the two models. So bringing it back here as we wrap things up for this edition. Again, folks, just keep it tuned here. These models are going to change as we get closer to it. The exact location for the severe weather as well as the exact location for the snows likely will change a little bit as we get closer to the event. Obviously, so you're seeing the differences between the two models. If you could please do me a favor, if you like what you've seen, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification tab, and give me a thumbs up. Really helps me with trying to grow this audience. The more people I can get on board, the more real-time weather updates I'll be able to do for you for now. That's everything for today. You guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next update. Until then, have a safe and pleasant day. Bye-bye.